Because of this, what happens? Their chance for spiritual salvation is lost. They don't get a chance for spiritual salvation. So that's why Arjun is fearing also all these things. Okay, 40th verse, please recite.
अधर्माभिभवात् कृष्ण
अधर्माभिभवात् कृष्ण
प्रदुष्यन्ति कुलश्रिया
प्रदुष्यन्ति कुलस्त्रियः
स्त्रीषु दुष्टासु वार्ष्णेय
स्त्रीषु दुष्टासु वार्ष्णेय
जायते वर्णशङ्कर
जायते वर्णशङ्करः.
Translation: when religion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny.
Yeah. So Prabhupada is saying in the purport that good population in the human society is basic principle of peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress. So that's why Varnashram Dharma was given. The purpose of Varnashram Dharma so that is what? So that people will gain good samskaras, the people of good progeny will come, and in this way there will be peace and prosperity. So, and now what is the basis of such a good population? Prabhupada says, it depends on chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. So that's why it is such an important role women play in the society. In the Vedic society, women are considered to be foundational in terms of producing a very proper children. So if women are chaste, if they are very religious, they are very faithful to their husband, if they are very, very sincere, then such woman gives birth to very good population, good children. So that's why women should be very much protected. It is a very important instruction, and Prabhupada is to stress it again and again and again, that in the childhood, the girl should be protected by her father, and in the youthhood by her husband, in old age by her son, elderly son. So in this way, women should always be protected. Why so? Because as Prabhupada is writing in the purport, woman's mindset is somewhat like a child. So they can be very easily misled. माता जिसको जनरली कोई जल्दी बहुत जल्दी फंसा सकता है, and that's what we see so many cases of people, isn't it? That so many girls, they are given some kind of allurement by the men that okay, I will marry you, this that, and they enjoy with them and then run away. And in this way, women, because of their soft nature, these women are very easily can be misled, can be very easily polluted. Just like you give a child chocolate to a child, and immediately the child will give all his jewelry to you, isn't it? A thieves they do like that, no? They give some chocolate or something to the child, and they can very easily take away their jewelry. So women's mindset is somehow also like that. They can be very easily brought into some kind of wrong practices because of some allurements. So that's why there should be protection given to women by the people, by men. So, so Prabhupada says, if women remain chaste and they remain devoted, then they will give birth to a good population engaging for eligible for participating in Varnashram system. So good women give birth to good children. Tukaram Maharaj also says, Shuddha Bija Poti, Praya Rasada Gomati. He says, if the parents, mother and father are very pure, then good children will come out of them also. On the other hand, if there is no protection to women, then they become free to act and mix with men, and in this way the adultery starts. Generally, we see that when the women are not controlled, then they become they are treated like sex symbol by men. Men treat them as if some sex machine, and in this way they are plunged into adultery. The men will give them some allurements, and in this way the adultery happens, and the whole what type of society is formed? Varna Sankara. Varna Sankara means unwanted, uncultured, unethical children are born. And Prabhupada used to say And what is the result of such uncultured people which are born? There is always a war and pestilence. So Prabhupada used to say the first class example of uncultured Varna Sankaras are hippies in the West. These people have no sanskaras, no culture. And why such people are born? Because of no proper protection to women, because of lot of illicit sexual activities which are performed, lot of extramarital relationships. So all these things lead to a lot of horrible things in the society. Nowadays, these things are very rampant, where their illicit sex has become very rampant because of no proper education to men also and women also. And because of that, so many such Varna Sankaras are being formed. So that's why in the society of devotees, this is very important. We give proper sanskaras, and there is a proper faithfulness and chastity among devotee couples, and they give birth to good children. And also, it is a duty of devotees also to uh, educate other people the importance of these things, so that the population will be good. Such population will be good. Population will make world more peaceful and happy. They will not become. They will not fight like cats and dogs for some pretty things. So. So these are all such a important guidelines Prabhupada gives for even for social welfare, even on a material scale. Even on material scale, how these Vedic injunctions are so important, and they can give us such a wonderful guidelines, so that even society within this world will be relatively more peaceful and happy. So, so even to make the world happy, we need to take injunctions of the scriptures very seriously. Okay, 41st verse, please recite.
शङ्करो नरकायैव
Sankaro Narakayaiva
नरकायैव
कुलघ्नानां कुलस्य च
Kulagnanam
ज्ञानं
Kulasya
कुलस्य
cha
च
पतन्ति पितरो येषां
Patanti
पतन्ति
Pitaro
पितरो
Hesham
हेषां
पिण्डोदकक्रियाः
Lupta Pindodaka Kriyaha.
लुप्तपिण्डोदकक्रियः
Translation: An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life, both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down, because the performances for offering them food and water are entirely stopped.
Yes. Oh, this is the people who are kind of Varna Sankaras, they don't like to do any Vedic sacrifices and Vedic ceremonies. What is their mood? Just eat, drink, and be merry. Enjoy life. They don't concern themselves with any Vedic ceremonies, which are helpful for one's spiritual elevation as well as future prosperity. So, especially what Arjun is mentioning, Lupta Pindo Daka Kriya, the system of offering Pinda. That is system of offering Pinda is lost. Pinda is what? Basically oblations to forefathers. And then such oblations to forefather is what basically Prabhupada says. It's the Vishnu is worshipped, and the remnants of Vishnu's foodstuffs, that is Prasad, Vishnu Prasad, is offered to forefathers. And in this way, the forefathers are delivered from all sinful reactions. That's why periodic offering to forefathers is required. That's why we see in the religious society, they will, during the Pitru Paksha or during the death particular day of a particular forefather, they will always offer the oblations. So in this way, the forefathers, even if they have got hellish body, even if they are remaining in hell, and even if they are in the life in the body of a ghost, still they will get benefited by offering them Vishnu Prasadam. So it's a duty. The son, it is one of the Vedic impetus for begetting a son was that he will do Pinda Kriya for me, so that even if I degrade by my own activities, my son will uplift me. That was the impetus. So such help is a duty. We have received so much from our forefathers. So it is the duty of every person to help his forefathers in their life after death. But nowadays people don't believe also in the life after death. So where is the question of following all? They think these are all kind of mythologies, or these are all unnecessary things. So, but this is a science and people are not aware of it. So, however, Prabhupada says those who are engaged in devotional service, they need not offer all such pinda and all that, because simply by performing devotional service, so many forefathers are benefited. Prabhupada writes, you read this line, simply by performing devotional service, one can deliver hundreds and thousands of forefathers from all kinds of misery. And Prabhupada is quoting Devarshi Bhutapta verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. So if somebody renders devotional service, all the obligations to forefathers are automatically fulfilled. In fact, in one of the places in Shastras, it is written that when forefathers see that somebody has become a devotee in their dynasty, they start dancing. Why? Because they understand now is the chance of our liberation. Because this particular person in our dynasty has become a devotee now, by his devotional service, we will be also liberated. So just by rendering devotional service, we are doing great help and great assistance to our forefathers, to our all relatives, because they all also share the credit of our performance of devotional service. And that's what was told by Narsimha Dev to Prahlad Maharaj. When Prahlad Maharaj prayed to Narsimha Dev that please deliver my forefathers, Narsimha Dev said, what to speak of your, please deliver my father, please excuse him, please liberate him. Narsimha Dev said, what to speak of your father, your many generations, 14 generations are going to be liberated. Somewhere it is said 21 generations. So in this way, a devotee does great service to his forefathers by practicing devotional service sincerely. Okay, 42nd verse, please recite.
Shrikar bro.
Posherete kulagnanam
Dosherete kulagnanam
varna shankar karakaihi
Varnasankara karakai
utsadyante jati dharma
Utsadyante jati dharma
dharma
kula dharmascha shashvatah.
Kula dharmascha
shashvatah.
Translation: by the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated.
Yeah, please read purport.
Purport: community projects for the four orders of human society combined with family welfare activities as they are set forth by the institution of Sanatan Dharma or Varnashrama Dharma are designed to enable the human being to attain his ultimate salvation. Therefore, the breaking of the Sanatan Dharma tradition by irresponsible leaders of society brings about chaos in that society, and consequently, people forget the aim of life, Vishnu. Such leaders are called blind, and the persons who follow such leaders are sure to be led into chaos.
Yeah, so we see that this Varnashrama Dharma is also meant to give material prosperity and peace in the world. At the same time, the goal of Varnashrama Dharma is also to direct a person or overall society towards ultimate goal of life, that is spiritual perfection. So, but if unwanted evil deeds are performed by the people, then even the material prosperity is spoiled and the chance for spiritual perfection is also lost. That's what is the point of Arjun. Like that. Okay, 43rd verse. So although our time is up, but only 3 verses are remaining, so we'll just complete them so that our chapter gets over today. 43rd verse, please recite.
Sumit Prabhu.
उत्सन्नकुल धर्माणम्
Utsanna kula dharmanam
मनुष्याणां जनार्दन
Manushyanam janardana.
नरके नित्यं वासो
Narake niyatam vaso
भवतीति अनुशुश्रुमा
bhavatitya anushrushruma.
Translation. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those whose family traditions are destroyed dwell always in hell.
So Prabhupada is mentioning very important point that Arjun is not speculating. He is mentioning what he has heard from his authorities. So that should be the attitude of a person, that one should not just keep on giving one's own speculative ideas, but one should simply quote what is one has heard from authorities. So Prabhupada says this is the way of gaining real knowledge. So and Prabhupada says also this, another point Prabhupada says is that one who is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process of atonement called as prayaschitta in order to counteract sinful reactions. So if one does not do so, then he will be transferred to miserable lives. Okay, 44th verse, please recite.
Saumya Prabhu, you there? Okay, now. Okay, we'll go to next duty. Anadi going through.
अहो बत महात् पापम्
Aho bata mahat papam
Mahapapam
कर्तुं व्यवसिता वयम्
kartum vyavasita
Vyavasita
vayam
Vayam
यद्राज्य सुखो लोभेन
yadrajya sukha lobhena
तुम स्वजनम उद्यत.
hantum swajanam udyata.
Translation. Alas, how strange it is that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts, driven by the desire to enjoy royal happiness. We are intent on killing our own kinsmen.
Yeah, please read purport.
Purport. Driven by selfish motives, one may be inclined to such sinful acts as the killing of one's own brother, father, or mother. There are many such instances in the history of the world, but Arjuna, being a saintly devotee of the Lord, is always conscious of moral principles and therefore takes care to avoid such activities.
Yeah, this is, we know Aurangzeb, right? He did this type of activity also. Okay, 45th verse.
I'll read it. Prabhu.
Yes.
यदि माम अप्रतीकारम
Yadi mam
Yadi Mam
pratikaram
Pratikaram
अशस्त्रम शस्त्रपाणयः
ashastram
Shastram
shastrapanayah
Shastrapanayah
धार्तराष्ट्रारणे हन्युस्
dhartarashtrarane hanyus
तन्मे क्षेमतरं भवेत्.
tanme kshemataram bhavet.
Bhavet.
Translation. Better for me if the sons of Dhrashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield.
Yes, please read purport.
Purport. It is the custom, according to Kshatriya fighting principles, that an unarmed and unwilling foe should not be attacked. Arjuna, however, decided that even if attacked by the enemy in such an awkward position, he would not fight. He did not consider how much the other party was bent upon fighting. All these symptoms are due to soft-heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord.
Yeah. See, if Arjun does not fight, he will become bereft of his occupation and left to beg for his sustenance. However, begging is unthinkable for Arjun. So Arjun cannot beg. That is not possible. So in this way, Arjun is thinking, see, I cannot beg also, and I don't want to fight also. So what may happen? Unarmed, I may be killed. So although they may kill me in such an helpless situation, that is better, I feel so, rather than such a disturbing situation I had to face. Like that. 46th verse, please recite.
Vishnu Prabhu.
Sanjay Uvacha
Sanjay
Sanjay
Uvacha
Uvacha
Evam Uktvārjuna Sankhe
Evamuktva
Evam
Arjuna
Mukta Arjuna
Sankhe
Sankhe
Rathopasta Upavisat
Ratopastha
Pastapa
Upavishat
Vishata
Visrijya Sasaram Chapam
Visrujya
Visrijya
Sasaram
Sansaram
Chapam
Chapam
Shoka Samvikna Manasa.
Shoka
Shoka
Samvigna
Samvigna
Manasaha.
Manasaha.
Translation. Sanjay said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief.
Yes, please read purport.
Purport. While observing the situation of his enemy, Arjuna stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again, setting aside his bow and arrows. Such a kind and soft hearted person in the devotional service of the Lord is fit to receive self knowledge.
Yeah. So we see that Prabhupada is speaking from both sides. Sometimes he says Arjuna is weak-heartedness. And sometimes he says he is such a, because being a devotee, it is natural for him to be soft-hearted. So in this way, both ways Prabhupada is giving both the angles. Okay, so this ends the purports to first chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of observing the armies of the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So we'll stop here. Next week we'll start with second chapter. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Antara
Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Thank you,
jai.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.
Can we take question answers also?
Yes, those who want to carry on, they can carry on. And open. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So, Prabhuji, actually, here in the starting of the lecture, there is a verse called that Arjuna told that I can go to the jungle instead of fighting here. So, where's the question? Yes. So he told that. Just a minute, I write down. Yes. So the question is that not active. There is a point coming that we should not act in foolish manner. A Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble when he is so invited by some rival party. So this is the point coming in the middle of the lecture, Vijay. So we had that one story actually, was that when elephant going to the temple, then suddenly one pig will came and then asking for fight, but elephant does not take interest in fight and then tell that you will be win, and then he left and then he go for the services. But here we find out Pooja, this point is looking like little opposite for me, that we should not act in foolish manner. Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble. Whenever even the foolish person calling him for battle, the Kshatriya should have to be go. Then how to understand that point, that broad perspective or this limited perspective?
I don't know whether elephant is a Kshatriya or not. So it is a duty of Kshatriya actually. He cannot refuse the battle and gambling. Prabhupada says that in purport. So, but of course, this is one rule. Apart from that, there are many others. He has to see that whether the person is competent to fight with him or not. All these things are also there. So certainly, but it is a Kshatriya cannot refuse the battle. That's certainly the code of a Kshatriya. So, but of course, in the modern terms, we don't know whether we are Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Brahmana generally. So we cannot just blindly apply, oh, I am a Kshatriya. So anybody is challenging me in school or college, I can, or my neighbor, I can start fighting with him. That's not an application to be done because our Varna is not exactly, cannot be determined in that way.
Suppose the point is coming that Arjun acting here as a more Kshatriya, not as a more devotee, right?
Kshatriya also can be devotee, no?
Okay.
So it's not that a devotee Kshatriya cannot fight like that. In fact, just like a devotee Brahmana can do Vedic sacrifices, similarly a devotee Kshatriya can do fighting on the battlefield. So that there will be proper rule established. So many Kshatriyas were devotees. Like we see that even after seeing here Narsimhadev, Prahlad Maharaj became a king, and Dhruva Maharaj became a king also. So they were duties, and it was their duty to fight. So it is not that devotee should never fight. So if a devotee is a Kshatriya and if he is required, he should fight. If it is required for the cause of upholding the religious principles, so he can fight. So just imagine some devotee goes into the army, and what will they don't fight? Not like that. It is his duty. Of
Understood.
course, it applies more to Dharma Yuddha, the duties. But in general, you know, means to tell you very frankly, the Varnashrama system duties, to apply them in modern times to a modern situation, are not that easy. Because when it comes to Kshatriya, there are various aspects of a Kshatriya. So, but people are missing some different aspects of Kshatriya. So it will come also. What is Kshatriya? It will come in future in Bhagavad Gita. So similarly, Brahmana. So these duties are basically based on Varnashrama system. But in modern times, nobody is able to follow this dharma very properly. Kshatriya dharma or Brahmana dharma. So, but in general, that's why whatever best duty a devotee can see, which is not against his Krishna consciousness. So performance of his duty is not forbidden for a devotee. And here, so Arjuna is not fighting just for sense gratification. We know that it is his rightful claim, and he is going to rule. He is going to rule in a very Krishna conscious manner. So his fighting is going to lead, Krishna conscious civilization. So that's why his fighting was a just activity. Okay.
Thank you, Bhajan.
Any other question?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Oh, yes.
Prabhuji, in the ending, you said that Srila Prabhupada was showing the Arjuna's attitude in different angles, like in the devotee angle, and in some angle, showing as a materially attached. So, how should we understand that, Prabhuji? Like, ultimately, what is to be understood?
So that's what in introduction Prabhupada says. Introduction Prabhupada says that Arjun is actually a pure devotee only, but he is purposefully put into illusion by Krishna so that he can speak Bhagavad Gita for our welfare. So certainly, once Krishna is teaching a lesson to us through the medium of Arjun. And Prabhupada is to give example, just like the mother-in-law, when she wants to teach something to daughter-in-law, she will not directly tell her. Suppose a daughter-in-law is serving prasadam, and immediately, when she is serving, she puts huge quantity of prasadam into the plate. So mother-in-law will not directly chastise daughter-in-law, because otherwise the whole relationship will get spoiled. So she will go and chastise her sister, her daughter, and she will say, "Hey, what is this? You are putting so much of rice into the plate, so much of sabji into the plate. Is it the right quantity?" Like that she will chastise. So daughter also understands this chastisement is not for me, it is for her mother-in-law. And at the same time, daughter-in-law also understands that this is not for her daughter, it is for me. But the whole situation gets very nicely adjusted. The lesson is conveyed, at the same time the person is not hurt also. So Arjun, because he was a great devotee of Krishna, so he agreed to play this role. And in this way, he was purposefully put by Krishna into such illusion. And in this way, he became the instrument so that Krishna can instruct Bhagavad Gita, so that it will help in our own life. So many people for future generations, they will be helped. So that is a way we have to understand. So Arjun was not having any weakness or anything like that. Arjun was always a pure devotee. He was always ready to fight originally on the instructions of Krishna. But it was Krishna's desire that Arjun should be like this bewildered. And that's how whole thing took place. Does this answer your question?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hi, Krishna. Arjun Sarthi this here.
Yes.
We see that Arjuna is mentioning all about karma kanda activities only in all his questions. I mean, being a devotee, he does not mention anything about somebody not performing devotional service because of this, Is it also because of he's being put into illusion, or is there some other angle to it?
Yeah, that's what, because he's put into illusion, he is calculating everything from a karmakandiya point of view and not from a devotional point of view.
Okay.
You know, he's quoting various levels of dharma and all that, like that. That's a perfect understanding.
Hare Krishna Puji, Arjuna calling Lord here as Madhusudana Madhava, it seems like he knows Supreme Godhead, but after Vishwarup Darshan, when Lord says in previous births and all, it comes like he comes to know that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Means I a bit confused about these things. Means how?
See, Arjun's relationship with Krishna is Aishwarya Mishrit Sakhya. Aishwarya Mishrit Sakhya means what? He has the knowledge that Krishna is Supreme Lord, but sometimes that Sakhya overcomes that his knowledge, and he deals in a very intimate way. But when he's seeing Vishwarup, that Sakhya is going away and only Aishwarya is remaining. And that's why he's saying, my God, I called you as my friend. We slept together and ate together. Ideally, you should sleep on a high bed and I should sleep down in a chatai, or I should not sleep only. I should massage your feet. When you are eating, I should worship you. I will should serve you. But we ate together. Please excuse my these offenses. So this was not offenses because of some disrespect or some kind of belittling Krishna's position. This was because of his pure friendly love with Krishna and his Sakhyaras. So when Arjun is asking forgiveness, that is not that is his humility or kind of a mood that he's saying that, oh, unnecessarily I treated you intimately. You are my you are a supreme lord actually. So we see in Yashoda also, when she saw Vishwarup in the mouth of Krishna, she also immediately became very philosophical and she said, oh no, it is my illusion. I am thinking Krishna is my son and Nanda Maharaj is my husband and this and that. Actually, I am simply, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, this, that. So Krishna did not like that all talks of Yashoda, and immediately Krishna removed this thing, Aishwarya Bhav. And similarly, when Devaki and Vasudev, when Krishna released them, Krishna Balram, when they released them from the jail, immediately they started offering prayers because they saw he's killing Kamsa, who was the king of all the demons, and nobody, he was invincible. Kamsa was killed. So immediately they started offering prayers, and Krishna Balram thought, "Hey, what is this? These are my mother, father. They should embrace us. They should kiss us. They should put us on their lap." Instead of doing this, they are offering prayers. So immediately Krishna covered them with Yoga Maya, and then they started doing all these things. So Arjun, these devotees like Arjun, they are always under Krishna's Yoga Maya. So sometimes because of Aishwarya Bhav, so in that Vishwarup, there is no question of Sakhya Rasa, right? You cannot establish a Sakhya Rasa with Vishwarup. So when he saw Vishwarup, he got, oh my God, he is a God person, Baba. I am dealing with him in a very intimate way. So that intimate dealing was not offensive. It was wonderful only. It was very pleasing to Krishna. But that was his feeling, Arjun's feeling that, oh, I am dealing in an intimate way. That is disrespect from my side. So that's why he's offering prayers. Is it all right?
Yes.
So that is a mood of Arjun basically. It is not like, kind of offensive attitude or something of Arjun. Okay, here Anil Prabhu is saying that like Arjun is not ready to go to jungle while big dharma, he is not, should not go to jungle. If we apply this principle.
Sorry, wrong हो गया question I think. Actually, my point is that Arjuna is ready to go to jungle, while big dharma is that he should not go to jungle.
Okay, if you apply this principle, so it means that based on our psychophysical nature, we can give importance to step instead of taking back step from fighting and resolve the situation. Means what? I didn't understand.
मतलब यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है मुझे that Arjuna is ready to go to not to fight and go to jungle, but Krishna told that you can fight because you are Kshatriya. So like that, our like Arjuna nature will be like a Kshatriya. So our nature is also something belongs to somewhere. So we can give importance to that step, or we can try to resolve the situation. So what we have to be apply from this.
One thing is what, as we said that before this question only we discussed this, that our nature is not very clear in Kali Yuga, especially because of this lot of mixture of this thing, intercaste marriage and all. Prabhupada says it in another place. So the Varnas, and especially in the Shastra also it is said, Kalo Shudra Sambhavat. So our nature is not so easily understood in the beginning itself. But that's why consultation is a very important factor. You should consult with those who are mature, senior, and check whether this step is right or not. I am feeling inclined to this particular service, so should I do this service or not? Mostly devotees will engage us in the services which we are inclined for, and that is good only. But at the same time, if there is a need, one should be ready to also do other services. Does this address your question, if I rightly understood?
Yes, Prabhuji.
But Priya Arjun Prabhu is saying that nowadays women are very intelligent and rational and can sustain themselves independently. Do they still require protection like in Vedic times? And is the concept of brahmacharya ashram, brahmacharini ashram allowed in Vedas? Because Srila Prabhupada had allowed it in some instances. This question is very sensitive. So should women be given protection? As per Vedas and as per Prabhupada's always making a statement, Prabhupada always said without any compromise, yes, they do need protection. And I remember Prabhupada when he was told by some reporter or somebody that there are women who are as capable as men today, Prabhupada said yes, but they are still insecure. Although they may be capable, we see there are still so many cases of exploitation of women, right, happening everywhere around. And Prabhupada says that they are insecure and unhappy because of being shelterless. That's what Prabhupada's statement has been always there. So they surely require protection. So again, so can the women sustain themselves independently? Nowadays they are staying independently, but they are insecure. That's what is what I have heard and my understanding. That's what Prabhupada also says in one place, that they are not happy independently. They may be able to stay independently, but they cannot stay happy independently. They cannot stay secure, and there is always chance that some men may exploit them. Now, as far as this is what my understanding is, but you may check with other devotees also because it's a very sensitive topic. Now, what as far as concept of brahmacharini ashram, concept of brahmacharini ashram was not there in the Vedic system because there was no need of such a concept, because women were already always very nicely taken care by the father, brother, husband, son, all of them would very nicely take care. So there was no need. And of course, brahmacharini ashram, so their training, what about their training? Their training would happen in the house only. In the house only, they would be nicely trained by their parents, especially by mother, grandmother. So all the training would be given by them. But then when Prabhupada saw in the Western countries, there is no such protection. When Sharadiya Mataji, she came to Prabhupada and she said, can I shift to temple? He said, no, Matajis cannot stay in temple. Only Prabhu can stay in temple. Woman cannot stay. But she said, I don't know where to stay. I said, stay with your father. And she says, no, father has left me and I have no brother, no sister, nobody, family. All family members have left me. They are divorced and gone. My father has divorced, my mother has gone away. My mother has gone also. So then Prabhupada understood that, the situation in the West is different. Now they have no home. There is no protector for them. Then Prabhupada said, okay, so you shift into temple. And then Prabhupada started Brahmacharini ashram. And it was strictly far away from Brahmachari ashram so that they would not mix together. In this way, Brahmacharini ashram was instituted. So this type of adjustments acharyas can do based on time, place, and circumstances, so that the people's spiritual life can be fostered nicely. So certain things may not be there in the Vedas. That's why the acharya holds a very special position. He can make an appropriate adjustment so that Krishna consciousness can be administered very nicely in the present society, in the society to whom he is preaching. So although it is a Prabhupada's kind of invention, but it became helpful. So many Matajis got sheltered. And now also it is going on in some of the temples in the Western country. And that is going on quite well. Because what to do? There is no husband, no son. There was no concept of divorce in Vedas. Nowadays, the divorce has become common. So where the poor Matajis will go? So they need some shelter. Sometimes the parents refuse to give shelter. Sometimes the father is unable to give shelter. Sometimes the son is not there. So all such situations are there. So they need some shelter. And that's why the temple should take up the responsibility and give shelter to those Matajis who are ready to strictly follow, very sincerely follow the bhakti. Because their bhakti also should be protected and their bhakti should be encouraged. So for that, Prabhupada instituted this system. Is that okay, Priya Arjun Prabhu? Yeah. So should we stop?
Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol.
Thank you. Hare
Thank you, brother.